Hey everybody, good morning. It's me, Beth Maitland from Drama Queen Bee Quilt Studio in the beautiful Central Coast of California. And it's autumn. I don't know when you'll watch this, but right now it's the beginning of October, and I'm spending the week in my studio with a little bit of much needed tidying up and finishing things up. And I came upstairs to make a few little straight pins that I could put in some needle books that I'm about to list in my Etsy shop. And so today we're going to learn how to make these little things. I just gathered a bunch of little pieces from my supplies, including some millinery flowers. You can see those little clusters of millinery flowers, some little tiny ribbon roses, and some glass-topped pins. I prefer the glass-top pins because they're a little bit longer than a standard decorative straight pin, and we're going to use those for the center of our flowers. So these millinery clusters I just had laying around from previous sort of a floral project I had worked on. You just snip off the flower at the stem to eliminate the wire, and then you peel out. I like to just use the little cloth petals, so I take out the center, it's a little piece of paper coated with something for the center of the flower, and I insert the glass-headed pin right through the hole that already exists, if I can hold on to it. So I insert the pin through the middle, and then I layer things. I've snipped off a piece of satin ribbon from another ribbon rose that I'm going to use as my leaf underneath this little flower. So I just make sure that the pin goes through both layers of the little piece of ribbon. And then that is just a circular shaped tab of some scrap of wool felt. I prefer the wool felt. It's a little bit thicker than normal felt, and the normal felt is thinner, a little floppier, and also acrylic and not a natural fiber. And then I use this lovely fabric tack, and in between every layer I put just a little bit of dot of glue. This stuff is fantastic, and it is flexible. It dries flexible, it dries clear, and it is very sturdy for keeping these little pieces together. So I put a little dot of glue between every layer, and then on the top, underneath the glass ball, at the top of the pin, between the flower, and then I just take my fingers and squish everything up the pin to push everything together and set the glue. You have a few seconds to, maybe 10 seconds or 15 seconds to adjust things. You can move the little petal ribbon around, or you twist the way the flower lays with the pin, whatever. You have a few seconds, but this glue dries really fast. It's fantastic glue. And so you can I just poke them back into a pin cushion to be able to dry firmly. And I've selected a combination of colors. This pack of glass pins came with sort of a tealy clear blue glass head and a pale yellow glass head. So I made sure and sort of paired everything up in advance. As you can see, I've snipped a few off of the little millinery bundle, and I've cleared so I could sort of assembly line them all together so I could make a few at once. And these little tabs of the Australian wool felt, I just snipped little squares and then rounded off the edges with my scissors. Really simple. You could use silk ribbon flowers. You can see up in the upper right hand corner of the screen, you can see that I have a little container full of pre-made ribbon flowers. I used a couple of those. I found the bigger ones were glued because they were manufactured, and I couldn't get the pin through the the bigger ribbon flowers. I couldn't get the pin through. Oh, I'm showing you it takes 10 seconds for the glue to set. Counting it off. Anyway, I couldn't get the pin through the ribbon roses, so I didn't go with the bigger ones. I used the really tiny ones. But you can figure out what else you have. Buttons would work, all kinds of different, as long as they're lightweight, and small enough to sort of balance at the end of a pin. And I'm going to slip all of these little cute little custom, individual, very precious little sweet pins into some of my needle books, and so there'll be a little treasure inside, in addition to whatever else I stock. I usually put in seam rippers and sometimes pins and needles, and sometimes tape measures and the like, just to sort of stock them. These little needle books I make, you can see a couple of them in the upper portion of the screen. Anyway, so this was a really fun, just took a few minutes, a project to gather the things and spend a few minutes making something very custom and very unique and very individual. Use your imagination and add whatever you think would be fun on top of a pin. And just like that, we have these lovely 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm telling you, it takes 10 seconds for this to sort of set up. I hope you'll enjoy making a few of these yourself. And in the meantime, thanks for joining me for this quick tutorial. It's Beth Maitland at Drama Queen Bee Quilts.